Welcome everyone. Welcome to our State of the School for this spring of 2024. My name is Marisa Leon. I'm the director of the school. And this is Hans Webner. He is our chair of the board. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Welcome everyone. So this is the order of the day. We'll have the director's report, and I will do that part. Then we will have the SIS board report, and Hans will do that part. Then we'll talk a little bit about the road ahead and what's coming up, and I'll do that part. And then we'll have a Q&A with both of us.
Sounds good.
Yes, and then we'll have a little mingle outside, canapes, drinks, and more of a conversation. Great?
Yep,
Yes.
great.
Okay, just a reminder of who's in our senior leadership team and our educational leadership team. As you know, this year we added a new position. That's Kim Avery. She is our primary school vice principal, so that's a new position to the school. And then everybody else had been with us in previous year. The punctuated line is the educational leadership team, and the continuous line is the senior leadership team. So some of us sit on both teams. Okay. This is currently where we are in terms of our enrollment. We have 821 students. We have 63 nationalities in the school body, and we have 195 members of staff. And the reason why we have these colors is, as many of you already know, we have a tier system for our admissions process. So tier 1 are families who are here between 3 and 6 years. They're here with a multinational or an embassy, and they're here for a shorter period of time, and that is the bulk of the population that we serve. Tier 2 means you have been abroad and you want to continue to have your children go to an international school. And then tier 3 and tier 4 are more of our longer term families that are here in Stoko longer term. And of course, these are all the entities that we are accredited by. I'm not going to mention all of them, but last year we had our second accreditation with IB, MSA, Middle School Association, and Council of International School. The Middle School Association is our US-based accreditation, CIS is in our international accreditation, and the IB accredits our curriculum. So our goal for this year is to adjust, to connect, and to develop. And we've been working very hard on all fronts. Obviously, we are adjusting to this new location, and we're still in that process. Reimagining all our spaces, enjoying our new space here at Nora Latin, and looking at how we're going to make Johannes Gatan even better. And of course, working on a new curriculum for primary, so that's very important for us. And we are connecting by having our secondary students all here in this building. And that hadn't happened for a very long time. And then, of course, we continue to develop and upskill our staff. Actually, later this week, for our professional development afternoon, we're having a fair of our hidden talents. So we have 26 members of staff leading other staff members on things that they're really good and passionate about. So I'm going to be giving a salsa lesson. Somebody else is doing a bowling lesson. Somebody else is going to be doing a knitting lesson. Another person is doing a poetry writing workshop. So we really want to look at us as broad human beings, not only as who we are in the classroom, but what do we do outside of the classroom as well. So that's part of highlighting those underutilized talents. One of our highlights this year was the Nordic Network Educators Conference that happened in February. And it was very, very successful. We had many schools from the Nordic net region that joined us here. This is Fanny. She's one of our 12th graders. She gave an incredible welcome speech. She was very impressive. There's Michael Moore, who was the organizer of the whole event. He's not here today. He is at a Nordic Network conference and reporting on the very successful financial results of this conference too. So he is right there with David and Gunjit. That's why they're not here tonight. They are all at the leadership conference with the Nordic Network today. We had Joy Marchesi, who is our positive discipline leader and trainer, and she gave a fantastic opening speech. And then we had a whole bunch of vendors. So this were in the atrium, we set up all the vendors, so the people that share different and want to sell us, of course, different materials, instructional materials, textbooks, platforms. So it was really a fantastic event. And a lot of our own teachers did the mini workshops. So we had longer workshops and we had mini workshops. This was a really good drumming session I went to with a very good teacher from Futura-skolan who taught us all how to play drums. And other workshops were very interesting. And then, of course, we had for the first time our Stoko International Forum, and this was led by Emma and the advancement team. And it was a really, really, really good event. We had about 100 participants, right? 100 participants from the whole Stockholm region, parents of the school, but it was very much an external facing event. We wanted to keep working and sending this message that we as SIAs are part of this big infrastructure of business in Stockholm. So that was the goal of this meeting. We had the governor of the Stockholm region and other guests, and then we had Judith Goff, who's a member of our board, and Gulfam, who's also another member of our board. They were part of the panel. And we had from the Chamber of Commerce, we had our facilitator. So that was a very successful day and an event that I think might become part of our fabric every year as we move forward. So on the academic front, we are very happy and excited that next week on Tuesday and Wednesday, Monday and Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday, we have our authorization visit from for the primary years program. And we are very prepared. We think it's going to go really well. And once they come and visit our school, they'll visit our classes, they'll talk to our teachers, they'll talk to members of our board, they'll talk to me, and of course to our PYP coordinator and the head of learning and the whole team. We will be a full IB continuum school, hopefully by the end of the year. So that means we'll have the PYP, the MYP, and the DP. So this has been a 3-year process almost now. And one of the goals I had in mind when I first became the head of school. So the director here at SIS. So I'm very excited that this is happening for us. So I sent a message, I think it was yesterday, about our security and the use of our lanyards. Did you guys read it? Yes, good. Very, very important to keep the lanyards, and please help us. This is a concerted effort, and the reason we came up with this coloring is precisely for that. Security is very important for us. As part of that, we have evacuation drills twice a year. We haven't been able to do yet a lockdown drill at this campus because we're waiting on the whole door system to be finalized. But we have done we have done a fire evacuation drill here, one, and of course we've done 2 at Johannesgatan, so we do that every year. And of course, the reception is there at both campuses, so please wear your lanyard. So this is our new gym. And I can take some of you to actually see it in person when we finish this meeting, if you want to come and see it. It is beautiful. We're very, very excited. And it was completed this month. And the glass railings, which are the railings that are going to go around all the balconies, the glass has been cut now. It was finally approved by the city because it had to go to the city council, first to the antiquarian, then to the city council, then to the city museum to be approved. And now we finally approved it. They approved it, so they're cutting the glass to install it. So that's happening as well in the next month. And we have our signage mostly completed for all the doors, for everywhere, for all the locations, offices, and everything else. So we continue to settle into the building. A little bit of a review of our results, of the IB results for last year. This is our graduating class of last spring of 2023. And we shared these results with you at the previous state of the school, but we wanted just to remind ourselves how, even though we are not a selective school, We have an open admission policy. We serve mild to moderate needs at the school. And even with all of that, we managed to get very competitive results. So we are very proud of our program and proud of our students. And one of the things we wanted to introduce at this state of the school that we haven't done as much before is some information to you guys to get a sense of our counseling and admissions to universities. So we've added that this year. So this is the class of 2023. We had 12 students going to Swedish university, 7 to the UK, 5 to the US, 17 did a gap or military year. 6 went to the Netherlands, which is becoming increasingly more popular, especially after Brexit. A lot of people applying to Dutch universities. And 13 other, that's a combination of people who are working, people who decided to go for more technical careers and other things. And these are the universities that we had students attend last year that have confirmed, and we're aware. It's very hard to chase your 12th graders once they graduate from the school. You're like, after a year, where are you now? Your gap year is over. Please tell us where you are at university. So this is part of the work that our counselors do, and uni specifically in our upper school. So up to date for this class, this is the class that is going to graduate this spring. We have been offered $2.1 million in financial aid so far, which is amazing. That says it's been offered. It doesn't mean the students are going to take it, but the fact that they have access to this kind of funding is very good. This has been offered, I think it's 11 students that have been offered this amount so far within the class. And these are the acceptances already to UK universities and US, Canada, the Netherlands, and Italy. So that's where we stand right now with this class. Then we'll have more information, obviously, as the IB results come in and as other universities accept. Obviously, Swedish universities, we don't have results of those till, I think it's the summertime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The other new thing we implemented this year so far is the Yonder Program. The Yonder Program is a program with magnetic pouches, and those are right there on this picture, where students put their phone in this magnetic pouch, magnetize it, and keep it with them the whole day, but they don't have access to it. We started this program after a lot of investigation, a lot of research. We visited schools, we talked to directors of schools that had implemented the program. And we really were very keen on doing something to ensure that our students actually talk to each other at recess, socialize, play board games, play outside, as opposed to being immediately into their computer or taking their phone out of the locker and talking behind the locker door, or going to the bathroom and staying in the bathroom stall for 15 minutes so they can have access to the phone. So I think this has been, so far, and this is only anecdotal information at this point, it has been positively accepted. There's been positive impact. I see the kids playing board games. I see them talking more. They're having better conversations. The teachers seem to be not having to stress so much about chasing the kids for their phones. This is obviously a program only applied to our middle schoolers. Our upper schoolers will continue to have access to their phones, but they are limited to the 4th floor of the school to do that. And now, of course, the next step is to do a survey of impact for the staff and for the kids, to hear from them how they're doing, what they're thinking. But so far, it's been a pretty good process. And of course, we've done a lot of spot checking, so the teachers check. They have to put the pouch in the first day period of class, and then we do spot checks throughout the day to make sure they do have their phones there. But so far, it's been positively received from what we can gather. Okay, so that's Yonder. Community support and the SIS Spirit Fund. So this is our other fund. We have created for this year, this is new, we've created a committee that is constituted by staff, students, parents, and guardians. And they are in charge of reviewing proposals that come to the annual fund. And then they make recommendations to the senior leadership team. We wanted to add this layer of participation to add transparency to the process of the Spirit Fund, to ensure that everybody or stakeholders in the community have participation and have something to say about what projects are chosen for our Spirit Fund. And so that's been good, and they've started to review proposals as we speak, and they'll continue to do that. And of course, we have the three major buckets for our Spirit Fund, which is student experience, academic excellence and innovation, and campus development. And then of course we have the given circles, our community circle, our Augie circle, the director's circle. Please join me in the director's circle. I would be very welcome. Champion circle, and of course the founding circle. That's a 1951 circle. So we have sponsored a lot of projects with the annual fund. One of them this year is our chess club. We've given them funding for participation and additional equipment. We've already launched our first chess competition with internally, and now we're going to do it with other schools later in May. So this has been a successful program. And of course we do our Nepal trip every year. We help a school in Nepal called the Shiva Delhi School. And then these are some of our students in the Nepal trip they took this year in February. And this is a long-term commitment of the school with this particular school in Nepal. And we've done a lot of work, ongoing work of service as action. So we benefit from this project a lot, as much as they benefit from what we do. Our students benefit from this experience. So we are committed to it. Okay. That is it for me for now. Now I leave you two.
Great. How does this work?
So, thank you.
Okay, perfect. So, good evening, everybody, and thank you very much for joining us here tonight. The board report. Oh, it's too fast. So, here are some people that serve on the board. We try to get a good mix of people. Gender balance has always been important for me. We try to make sure that we have different nationalities on the board, different age, quite a few active parents, and some other people that have something to give to the board or experience in some field that will benefit SIS going forward. We have a couple of vacant positions for the moment. It's quite natural that a board like this changes a lot as the parents are here for a limited period of time. So we have a couple of very strong candidates in the pipeline, so I hope to be able to have a full board by the next school year. A little bit about me. I'm a Swedish citizen. I lived 38 years abroad, so most of my adult life I lived outside the country. I returned here in about 3.5 years ago, and it was a bit of a coincidence that I came into SIS because I was out jogging to learn Stockholm, and all of a sudden I found myself in front of the flag of Stockholm International School, and that was during graduation time. So there was the gym director was out there selling merchandise, so I just struck up a conversation. I thought, oh, this is great, and I didn't really present myself more than my first name, and I said I have some experience from international schooling, or quite a bit actually, from Brussels, and one thing led to the other, and a couple of months later I got a phone call from a guy on the board who asked me if we could have a cup of coffee, and so we did, and then I was asked to join the board. So it was a real coincidence. If I had not been doing that jog that morning, I wouldn't have been standing here. I lived the bulk of my years abroad in Brussels, and I have 3 daughters, and they all attended the International School of Brussels from kindergarten to IB graduation. And the similarities between ISB in Belgium and SIS here in Stockholm are so incredible similar that sometimes it makes me laugh. And that of course puts me in a pretty good position to know the questions that we have to deal with here, as they are still dealing with or have been dealing with in Belgium. I have a business background and financial expertise. I don't know who put that down, but I know a little bit about balance sheet and income statement and the stock market and so on. I'm fluent, yes, I guess I speak a few languages, but it's only due to the fact that I've had the opportunity to live in those countries where these languages were spoken or are being spoken. So that worked quite well. Then I like to spend some time to talk about my predecessor, Jan Henry, who served 15 years on the board. That's a long time. I can assure you that you're not going to see me for 15 years. He served the last couple of years as chair, and he also served on the finance committee, and he spent an incredible amount of time to secure this building, to find a new home for us. And it's not only Jan Henry. We have Annika here, for example, and a lot of other people that have spent countless of hours on a volunteer base, I might add, to secure this home that we have now. So Jan Henry, thank you very much if you're not here tonight, but you did a very good job. So what is the role of the board? Let me perhaps start to tell you what is not the role of the board. I'm sure that many of you sit on board, so this is no rocket science, but I just give you a little idea what it was when I was appointed chairman of the board in Belgium. Only a week later, I had a really angry mother that shouted on me because her daughter had not made the basketball team. And the coach was very stupid, and if I didn't fix that immediately, I could resign. So that is the kind of questions that I don't want to have. A few weeks later, another guy called me about the poor quality of the food in a school restaurant, and same thing there. I said, this is not my responsibility. There are other people you need to talk to about the food. As a parenthesis, I have never been involved in any school anywhere where people and parents don't complain about the quality of the food. Of course, we, the board, as in any organization, we are responsible to hire and occasionally fire the director, but I like to emphasize on the word support. Marisa and her team need support. They need someone that they can talk to and discuss things, particularly a lot of delicate matters that might arise here. And Marisa and I, we have a regular contact every week sometimes, or every fortnight, or we exchange mails and have a very good and strong dialogue. But I like to emphasize that it's Marisa and her team that take all the day-to-day decisions. Of course, we are there to oversee the operations and the strategic plan that we're going to talk about in a few moments. That one it is the kind of the red thread where in the way that the management has to run the school. And we are there to make sure that they follow that strategic plan that we have agreed upon. And of course, it also includes the financial framework. This afternoon, I had the first budget discussion with Annika, our financial director, and it doesn't look too bad. I'm happy to report so far. Sure, it's going to look slightly better before we're done, but so far so good. And of course, that we do everything along the legal and ethical compliance. And that also goes then to attend to all the matters of long-term sustainability of the school. For instance, that we secure premises like we have done here with Nora Latin. The board priorities, ensuring good governance of leading international schools. It's very easy to say we're going to offer world-class education, but that's exactly what we try to do. And we will never succeed 100% because I think we should always strive to further improve the educational aspect of the school. I mean, that's why we are here. And to form the model global citizens is something that I have very good experience with myself, as I have my 3 kids in this kind of environment. And you saw from Marisa's previous pictures that we are 63 different nationality represented here at school. And I just wish I would have attended such a school when I was a kid. I think that is just really fantastic. I talked about point number 2. A board priority is the Norra Latin completion, and I'd say that is, you saw the picture from the gymnasium, almost ready, and I do believe that the big aula is ready in a month or so, isn't it?
Yeah, mid-May, yes.
It's going to be ready for graduation.
And for the gala first.
And for the gala.
Gala
Yeah.
first,
Please join
and
us
then
for the
the
gala.
gala.
It's the 25th of May. Now comes something that is very important to me, is the prudent financial planning and management to meet future challenges. I believe strongly that we need to run the school after business guidelines. It needs to be law and order and no bad surprises. Why is that so important? Well, the reason why we are here is, of course, as I said previously, to offer world-class education. But that type of education doesn't come free of charge. We need financial means to support that. And therefore, we need to have a strong financial situation, a good balance sheet, a decent income statement. And we have some extra reserves here at the school, which I'm very happy about. We had exactly the same thing in Brussels. And I'm quite involved in the management of those funds. And I'm pretty pleased to report that they've never been used so far. And it was the same thing in Brussels, only there to be able to cover if we have some really disaster happening here in Stockholm or elsewhere that will really impact the inflow of new students. Support the advancement of school. This one is quite important. Expand relationships with national, regional, and local government. Why is that? Well, for the Swedes here in the room, you know that there is a pretty heated debate in the media and among politicians about profit for school. In other words, schools that are there to make profit. We are not. We are a foundation. Our goal is not to make a profit. Our goal is to have a healthy financial development, and if we earn any money, that will all go back into our fund that eventually will support things here in world-class education, things that cost extra money to carry out. And therefore, that is important that we have relationships with politicians, authorities, and also politicians of all the political parties, so we don't get tangled into this conversation about that we are a school for profit, because we are certainly not. On the contrary, one of the ideas where we had this conference here earlier in the spring that Marisa referred to is exactly that we like to present ourselves as part of the Stockholm infrastructure. And an international school is needed in any city with an ambition to attract business and talent. So people can come here, put their kids into school that they are familiar with, and leave after their assignment is over. So that is also very important, and we work quite a lot through the board and the management to secure that we have those contacts and invite a lot of stakeholders and politicians here to the school. The last point I think I covered. The road ahead. Well, we have I'll do this one too.
Okay.
We have the strategic planning process, and that one is just finished. They run for 3 years, correct me if I'm wrong, Marisa?
We're finishing this year.
Yeah, and there Marisa is reporting back to the board over with the system. I think a red dot is not so good, yellow is in good progress, and green is finished.
Right.
And I believe last time I saw this spreadsheet, there were probably only green spots or a few yellow perhaps. So
which we turn into orange ones.
Why we turn into orange ones? Very perfect. So Now we are going to start the process of setting up the next 3-year strategic plan. And that is done by all of us together. And you will have plenty of opportunities to give your input. What do you think we shall have as priority for the next 3-year period? There will be a number of community surveys, there will be workshops, and there will be a lot of conversations with all the stakeholders, parents, staff, board, everybody else that has an interest in our school. So we can come to some type of conclusion here in the fall, and I believe the new strategic plan starts to run from 1st of January, is it, in 25?
Correct.
So this is a very important part, an important responsibility for the board to manage. But again, it's going to come a lot of the work from the management, and we will give our input all together with you guys. You want to add something on this one?
Yes, so 2 things is we are also in the process of doing for the first time a feasibility study. Feasibility study is a study that basically is going to look at our capacity in terms of a possible capital campaign, our fundraising capacity, our capacity to do special projects. And we'll be interviewing, we have a outside consultant that is going to help us in this process, and they'll be interviewing certain key stakeholders at this part of the term. And then after the summer, they'll be doing some external interviews to see where do we sit in the Stockholm region. Where as a school, what kind of interest are we creating? What are the possibilities of actually creating big partnerships with companies and corporations to actually advance the school? In what kind of projects we want to invest? So that's very much associated to the strategic plan. So a lot of that information coming out of the feasibility study would be incorporated into it. And then the other big decision we need to make is about our accreditation. We've had 2 full accreditation cycles already with CIS and MSA. I was mentioning this. Now we have the opportunity to go to a pathway 2, which is a little different process of an accreditation with the Council of International Schools, but is more focused on particular projects. So that's called pathway 2. And the head of learning, Harriet, over there, and me are in the process of investigating that pathway 2 and what it means for our community. So that piece of information will come to be part of the plan as well.
Perfect.
Yes.
I think that was the end of my, you do the campus development?
Yes.
Yeah, so looks fantastic. That's be good fun. We'll have some sport competition there soon. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Why don't we
Well,
do
this is the aula. This is the new aula. Now the archway is fixed, and that's the stage. And we'll take a little tour.
Yeah, fantastic.
If you want, with this group, we can take you. We can't go inside the aula because that's still technically under construction, but we can go into the gym.
Yeah.
And see that. Yes. And this is the playground back here.
Yeah.
Playground. So that hopefully will be ready by May 1st, right? It has to be ready by May 1st because we're going to have about 5,000 people that come here on May 1st with the, right? It's with the labor union, right?
Yeah.
And it's the Labor Day.
Annual tradition.
It's, yes, so it's an annual tradition, and so they walk all around Stockholm and end up in the back of Norra Latin. So this was actually negotiated in our contract that they can do this every year.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Is
Thank
that,
I think
I
that's.
don't know what we have after this. It's you.
Yes,
Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you much. So a little bit of updates on the pastoral front and things to look forward to. We have now hired an additional counselor for 6th and 7th grade as a 50% position, growing to 80% or 100 for next year. I think it's 80% for next year. And then we've split up, so we have 3 social emotional counselors, and then we have a full-time college and career counselor, which is Uni. So we have Maria Laura, Noam, and Emma doing the social emotional support. And we have decided, we've created a new position starting in August for a vice principal of the middle school. And we've already completed a very, very competitive selection. We had about 150 candidates for this position. And we have selected Bradley Lister, who is an internal candidate actually. So he'll be our new vice principal for middle school. And unfortunately, Harriet is leaving us. She's moving to New York. So we'll be very sad to see her, but she'll start a new adventure with her family in New York. So we have completed our selection process for a new head of learning, and he is coming from Australia, and his name is Adam McGuigan. I keep saying McGinnon. No, it's not. It's McGuigan. So he'll be joining us in August as well. So very exciting. And these are our events and activities on the horizon. We have a busy rest of the term. So, of course, next Saturday, are you all coming to our International Day? Yes? I don't hear the excitement. Yes? No. Please. We're going to have, 25 countries represented, right, Sarah? Sarah? Yeah, 24. Okay, I just added one. 24 countries represented. So lots of good food and good snacks to have, and lots of dances and cultural expressions. So that's going to be fun. Then we'll have our reading week the following week, celebrating reading week at both campuses. Lots of activities around books and around reading. We're going to have a book swap as well. On the 17th of May, there's lunch with the director. So if you want to come and share your ideas and thoughts and have lunch with me, please sign up for that. That comes out in the dispatch. And then we have Primary School Sports Day for the students on May 22nd. And of course, please join us for our gala on the 25th of May. That's going to be really nice. And it'll be our first gala here at Nora Latin. And we'll be in the aula for the first time. So very exciting. And then Utspring on June 4th and graduation on June 5th. And Miss Erman is in charge. She's sitting back there looking very serious. And it'll be our first one at Nora Latin too. So she is very excited about that. And then we will have a volunteer appreciation event for all our volunteers on the 12th of June. So more information for that coming out. And the last day of term, we'll have a nice concert, 2 concerts, one for primary and one for secondary. And those concerts will not be at Nora Latin. They will be at the Emmanuel Church. And the reason why we're doing it there is because we cannot sit 400 kids plus all their parents. We only have, even at the aula. So I think to bring all the school together and all the parents together, we would have to all be outside. So we can't really do an outside concert, at least not yet, but we will at some point. So please join us for the last day of term. And then a very important plug for our SPC board. They have elections coming up, and they really need a new president for the SPC. So please, Farah is our current president. She has been fantastic. There's been so much that has been done this year. Thank you. Thank you, Farah. And we need somebody to take over all the efforts and continue to do a lot of the good work.
It's fun, I promise.
It is a lot of fun. And it's okay to work with me, right?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. So please, thank you, Farah. And please talk to her and join the board, because we really need the SPC support in a lot of our activities. So I guess that's it. Thank you for trusting us with your children. That is huge. We understand how important this is. When you decide on a school for your children, this is a very big decision for you. And your children along the way are making very important decisions for themselves and for their lives as they grow. So we really appreciate that. We appreciate your trust in us. We do our best every single day to offer your students and our staff and everybody in our community the best possible experience. So we believe in this passionately, and I feel very lucky to be doing exactly what I want to do and I'm passionate about, every day. It is an honor to be your director. So thank you very much. Thank you.